The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fact Podcast. All right.
It's episode 420.
Why is that a thing?
I think 420 was just, I don't know, wasn't it a zip code in California?
Zip codes are 5 digits.
I don't even know what the whole 420 thing was. I just know that people would smoke weed at 420.
I think one of the things that I heard was that 420 was the code, the numeric code for pot smoking.
Oh, like
Police.
with the cops?
Yeah.
Is that actually the case, though?
I don't think so.
I think it's just like a freaking myth. It's like an urban myth.
Could be. But speaking of some funny stuff, so we are now, 2 weeks past Election Day?
At least by the time this goes up. 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and the battle lines are drawn, and it's actually kind of, as someone who doesn't have all that much investment.
You don't have a horse in the game, a horse in the race?
Well, the horse that I've got in the game is the same horse, and that horse is always being trampled by everybody else.
Ba-ba.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny how, like, on the Trump supporting side, there's, if I go out online and look at stuff, there's all this talk about some kind of Kraken being released.
Yeah, what the fuck is the release the Kraken thing? I saw a Thanksgiving pie that was a Kraken on Twitter.
Well, that's the whole Trump supporting side.
That's the Kraken?
No, they think that his legal team's going to release some kind of evidence that's going to throw everything on its head and usher him into
everyone on Twitter keeps on talking about how he's been awfully quiet and
yeah, exactly,
all that stuff.
So whenever I see all the release the Kraken stuff, I'm just going, you guys are weird. And then
doesn't the Kraken kill everybody?
No, the Kraken gets turned into stone.
But doesn't it kill a whole lot of people first?
I don't know. But there's that bunch of people that I'm sitting there going, wow, you guys have clearly just kind of, I don't know. But then I look at the other side and they're no better. They're all like, from the press, there's like, just accept it. Accept it. Accept it. And I'm sitting there going, like, you accepted it 4 years ago?
Yeah, and that
4 years ago, and not my president. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They act the exact same way. It doesn't matter. And I'm just sitting there going, like, if you sit there and think that if, like, there's going to be something that happens that makes everybody go, oh, you know what? That was just kind of stupid. Let's hold hands and have a Coke. I don't think that that's ever going to happen.
It's quite exhausting, though.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, I'm surprised.
I'm tired of it.
I've been tired of it. I'm surprising how angered I get watching and listening to news, period. No matter where it comes from. I was like, ugh.
But you still watch it.
How am I not? It's always on or around.
Yeah, that's true. You can't really avoid it, can you?
Well, I could, but I'm not prepared to live that kind of life. Well, let me go back. It's not that I'm not prepared to live that kind of life. Like, I could do it, I just don't want to. It's not like that. It's I'm truly not prepared to live that kind of life. I can't just go out one day and, be like that Aborigine dude in Crocodile Dundee that gets hired. Is it one or two? They hire the Aboriginal dude to be a tracker.
Oh yeah, the friend of his.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get that guy Dundee." He's like, "Oh, is that Mick Dundee?" They're like, "Yeah, no, I ain't gonna do it." And then they threaten him, like, "Listen, old man, you're gonna do it or else." And the camera pans over to everybody else, and they go back to where the guy should be, and he's gone. And they're out in the middle of the bush going, "Oh." Like I don't have any.
Oh, you're talking about the Aborigine, not his friend, not his white friend.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't have any training that you could just kind of drop me, any knowledge or skills that you could kind of drop me off somewhere, and I would just, I'd be able to like make sandals out of stuff, and then catch my own.
Didn't
food.
you do some like survival training and stuff though?
Dude, that was like a walk in the park compared to what it would really take.
Oh, really? But you know how to like start a fire and shit, right?
Who doesn't know how to start a fire?
And you know that what was it you were telling me? Doritos burn real good.
Again, I need money to get the Doritos to like start the fire. I mean, if you drop me off buck naked in the middle of the Brazilian rainforest, I would be jaguar food.
That just reminds me of a conversation we had many years ago.
And that's me thinking highly of myself. What's more likely to happen is I'd probably step on something, get really hurt, fall over, get an infection, and get eaten by ants over the period of
that would not be a good way to go.
Exactly. I mean, being jaguar food, while intensely terrifying, at least that death would be quicker than being consumed by ants over a period of whatever.
I just think anything eating you in nature would be not a good way to go.
Exactly. So, people make fun of the survivalists and the hoarders, but I think they got a good idea going. But even then, like the whole gun thing, there are people buying guns like crazy lately.
Supposedly. Well, they are. They know, yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, it's not the guns, it's the ammo. And even if you have the guns, if you have no training and no will,
yeah,
that gun's going to do you no good.
Yeah, I'd be pretty useless with a gun, I think. Someone would just take it off me.
Well, then you just bought someone else a gun.
Yeah. Because I don't know what makes me think that I would be any different with a gun than I am without a gun.
I don't know either. I mean, I don't know all these people who sit there and they buy the guns like, oh yeah, I got this gun.
I'm going to be Rambo.
Do you know, I mean, it's pretty hard to hit something, especially with a pistol.
Well, not just that, the psychology of shooting somebody.
Most of that happens after.
Yeah, but the after wouldn't be very much fun.
Not from what I hear.
I wouldn't think. So it's all very well talking about doing it and maybe even doing it, but then what happens afterwards?
Well, if you're convinced of how good you are, right, then that was just necessary. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but that's like a philosophical exercise until you do it. And then but actually doing it's probably different.
Well, the philosophical exercise is one thing. The act is another thing.
Yeah.
There are people that can sit there and keep those lines from crossing.
No, I don't think that would be me.
Thank you for making it about you.
I like to make shit about me.
Even stuff that doesn't concern you.
No.
That's a pretty odd statement to make after you've made something about you that didn't.
What did I make about me?
Oh, the gun thing?
Oh, the gun thing. Oh, yeah. Well, I have been thinking about getting a gun, but then I'm like, what am I going to do with a gun? I don't know any. Like, I've got to clean it.
After you shoot it for a while, yeah.
I got to learn how to shoot it properly, and then I got to be willing to use it.
Well, you got to practice.
Yeah.
Ammo ain't cheap.
So.
Unless you can make your own brass and ammo and lead.
Please. No.
But
I'm not that guy.
I don't think that there's many of that guy, if any, in this day and age.
You want to have that guy as your friend, though.
Yeah, but then it could turn out to be like that whole Twilight Zone episode with the bomb shelter,
where there's not really anything going on outside.
No, you've never seen that episode.
I haven't. So I'm just assuming is that not what it's about?
It's a great episode, and it's an episode that kind of shows how what people are like, right? So there's a dinner party going on, and World War III is announced over the radio. Oh my God, this has happened. Get to your bomb shelters. Nobody on the street except for one house, the house where everybody's at this dinner party, has a bomb shelter.
Okay.
And he's telling everybody, well, get to your bomb shelters. I gotta take care of my family. He shuffles his wife and kid in there. And all of his buddies are like, you gotta let us in there. You've gotta let us in there. And he's all, well, you had the same amount of time.
So, yeah, you've known this is coming.
To build the bomb shelter.
Right.
You've had, it's that whole thing of everybody sitting there going, well, you've got to let me in. And they're willing to break down the bomb shelter. And then by the end of the episode, turns out, false alarm, sorry. And then all the people that were ready to kill this guy and take his bomb shelter are all like, everything's fine, right? But that's in a nutshell us.
People suck.
You get no argument from me on that.
But I don't. I always had such a romantic idea of people.
I don't know if romantic is the correct word.
Well, I always thought people would do the right thing, the good thing.
Some people would. Oh, on my Gavin Newsom thing that we were talking about yesterday, I think that I can count the number of people that would do the right thing on one hand.
Of all the people that you've ever known?
Of all the people on Earth.
Oh. That's not many people, bro.
And even if it's 0, I can still count that on one hand.
What is that as a percentage? 5 out of how many billion?
You're sitting there saying that they will fill up. The number of people that I can count will fill up all the fingers on my hand.
Yes.
I'm saying there's a possibility it's 0.
Oh.
And at most...
See? That's just typical of the way you put stuff. I can count them on one hand. I'm like, that's 5.
Sure, that's at most 5.
Well, you needed to, like, say that.
Okay, I thought it was pretty plain, but...
Well, if you're listening, people, let Dave know that it was not plain.
But that, again, whole Kraken, the Kraken thing, always just kind of funny. The accept the results, follow the law, that's always kind of funny.
I think I'm sick of people saying that who've been like crying wolf for the last 4 years and now sort of sitting there saying you can't. It's hypocrisy.
Sure,
it is hypocrisy, and it's like blatant hypocrisy.
And bearing in mind, this has nothing to do with who.
No, it doesn't.
With who is in it and who anyone thinks won.
And of course, anyone who's in the Biden camp who would hear somebody say that would be like, well, you're just saying that because, but it's not.
But it's the same. People in the Trump camp would think the same thing. Oh, you're making fun of the Kraken.
Yeah, so it's no wonder that nobody listens to our podcast.
Well, sure. I think people do, and we appreciate every single one of you.
Sorry.
But that's another illustration of what my life is like.
That everyone thinks you're against them?
Everyone thinks that I take the opposing view of them. And I'm sitting there going, but I didn't say anything. I didn't tell you what my view is.
I didn't get that about you. I really don't get it.
I don't get that about me either. And if I could change it, I would.
Maybe you should.
Well, yeah, to be a part of the system, but maybe I'm supposed to be outside the system. And if I am supposed to be outside the system, then how come I don't know how to do stuff better?
So if you're part of the system, what is the system? What is the system?
If you have a job,
that's the system.
You're in the system.
Really?
If you're an elected official, you're in the system.
Okay. What if you drive a car? You're in the system?
Sure.
But you have a car.
I didn't say I wasn't out of the system, did I? I said I wish the system would, espouse me more, be more into me.
You're like you're like the black sheep or the ugly stepchild of the system.
Yes. I'm the runt of the litter. I'm sitting there trying to get a hold of a teat to suckle.
I always felt sorry for the runt, and the runt fucking gets like his brothers and sisters are cunts. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why is everyone such a... Actually, there might be one brother or sister that kind of looks after the runt, but most of the brothers and sisters are not interested in taking care of their runtish.
Not if you're a bird. Hell, eagles.
Oh, that dies.
Well, the eagle, the older sibling, pushes the runt out to get more food.
That's fucked up. No, it wouldn't be me, man. If I was like... I would be looking after my eagle brother or sister.
Your eaglet brother or sister?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good for you.
Yeah, I know.
But, no, look, by virtue of living in society, by virtue of living, we're all in the system, and we're all trying to do stuff to get stuff in the system. Going to college, getting money, oh, that's another one, right? Didn't prospective President-elect Joe Biden say, I'm going to forgive some student loan debt?
Didn't he retract it after he said it?
I don't know if he did or he didn't, but that's... And there's tons of people that just
every
lost their mind.
politician says that.
There's just people that lost their mind over it. What are you talking about? I sat there and saved and crimped and forewent all this junk and paid off all my bills, and now you're going to come off and let somebody be a weirdo.
Every time a politician says that's always what you hear about in the media is other people saying that.
Well, there's tons of people that do that.
But I get it. I freaking get it.
Sure.
If you're the guy that sat there and paid shit off and taking care of stuff.
Well, I think we should end with this. There's, because everybody's sitting there talking about how to help education and all this junk. This hasn't been tried. And the reason why I don't think it has been or will be is because there's too many moneyed interests getting money from it. But I think maybe they should stop giving money to colleges and see what happens.
Colleges will die.
No, it just won't happen. They won't get reelected or elected in the first place. Anyway.